Buckle up, America. Trump just flipped the tariff switch, and the only winners are his billionaire buddies. While you're losing cash, his cheerleaders are losing face. For weeks, right-wing voices like Benny Johnson pounded the drum that Trump's tariffs were a gritty, necessary pain to resurrect the economy, until Trump hit pause without a word of warning. His minions are holding the bag, Dina Dahl jabbed on Midas Touch, per CNN Business, as the sudden about-face left their Make America Great mantra flapping in the breeze of a market still staggering from the whiplash. Benny Johnson's spin was pure theater. Losing money costs you nothing. It builds character, he preached on his channel, doubling down with, losing your country costs you everything, per WSJ. It's a wild pitch to convince voters their shrinking wallets are a badge of honor, ignoring every economist who branded Trump's tariff chaos a disaster, slashing markets by trillions, per Goldman Sachs estimates. Johnson nodded himself up, defending a plan Trump ditched. His character talk now a punchline as the S&P 500 reels, per Reuters. The real kicker? Trump's pause was a billionaire bailout. Charles Schwab crowed about $2. $5 billion and $900 million windfalls in the Oval Office, while the world's richest raked in $34 billion in a single day, per Bloomberg. This isn't pain, it's privilege, Senator Elizabeth Warren roared on CNBC as 401ks bled out amid the tariff flip-flop. The necessary part was a mirage, except for Trump's elite crew. The Wall Street Journal nailed it. Trump's tariff U-turn dumped his loudest cheerleaders in the ditch. As billionaires toast and voters groan, one question cuts deep. How long can these right-wing spin doctors hawk a busted tail before the crowd walks away? The bag's slipping, and it's loaded with hot air. On Fox News, Watters barked that real men don't fret over cash lost to Trump's tariffs. Sitting behind screens all day is for softies, while building robots with the guys keeps you rugged, free from HR ladies and lawyers pumping estrogen into weaklings, per CNN Business. It was a chest-beating plea to back Trump's economic gambit, until Trump paused the tariffs, leaving Watters' macho mantra swinging in the wind as the rich cashed out. The pitch was as flimsy as it was loud. With 401ks hemorrhaging billions and prices climbing, gas alone up double digits per BLS, Watters insisted financial pain was a masculine virtue. Studies show this, he claimed, per WSJ, offering zero proof while the S&P 500 took a beating, per Reuters. Then Trump flipped the script, pausing tariffs and slashing them to 10%, handing his elite crew, like Charles Schwab, who bragged of $2.5 billion gains, a $34 billion windfall in a single day, per Bloomberg. Real men, it seems, don't lose. They win big. The contradiction's a slap in the face. Trump's rich pals made out like kings, Dina Dahl jabbed on Midas Touch, per Reuters, while 15,000 manufacturing jobs evaporated, per BLS, not exactly Watters' robot utopia. His narrative's toast, Senator Tammy Baldwin quipped on CNBC, as 70% of voters now call Trump's chaos a sham, per a recent Reuters poll. The Be a Man line? A laughable relic after the tariff rug pull. The Wall Street Journal drove it home. Watters' tariff bravado collapsed when Trump bailed out the billionaires. As wallets shrink and the tough talk fades, one question echoes, can Watters swagger his way out of this flop? Or is his macho spin just another Trump casualty? The screen's cracked, and so's the story. On Fox News, Watters barked that real men don't fret over cash lost to Trump's tariffs. Sitting behind screens all day is for softies, while building robots with the guys keeps you rugged, free from HR ladies and lawyers pumping estrogen into weaklings, per CNN Business. It was a chest-beating plea to back Trump's economic gambit, until Trump paused the tariffs, leaving Watters' macho mantra swinging in the wind as the rich cashed out. The pitch was as flimsy as it was loud. With 401ks hemorrhaging billions and prices climbing, gas alone up double digits, per BLS, Watters insisted financial pain was a masculine virtue. Studies show this, he claimed, per WSJ, offering zero proof while the S&P 500 took a beating, per Reuters. Then Trump flipped the script, pausing tariffs and slashing them to 10%, handing his elite crew, like Charles Schwab, who bragged of $2.5 billion gains, a $34 billion windfall in a single day per Bloomberg. Real men, it seems, don't lose. They win big. The contradiction's a slap in the face. Trump's rich pals made out like kings, Dina Dahl jabbed on Midas Touch, per Reuters, while 15,000 manufacturing jobs evaporated per BLS, not exactly Watters' robot utopia. His narrative's toast, Senator Tammy Baldwin quipped on CNBC, as 70% of voters now call Trump's chaos a sham, per a recent Reuters poll. The "be a man" line? A laughable relic after the tariff rug pull. The Wall Street Journal drove it home. Watters' tariff bravado collapsed when Trump bailed out the billionaires. As wallets shrink and the tough talk fades, one question echoes. Can Watters swagger his way out of this flop? Or is his macho spin just another Trump casualty? The screen's cracked, and so's the story. Larry Kudlow strutted onto Fox News with a bizarre anthem. Paying more for Trump's tariffs is the epitome of American prosperity. He sneered that buying cheap goods is not real wealth, per CNN Business, spinning a yarn where inflated prices signal triumph. "Lay the law down," he crowed, promising Asia's badly behaving children would crawl back begging for mercy, striking deals left and right. Then Trump paused the tariffs, leaving Kudlow's rosy vision a smoldering wreck. No deals, just a windfall for billionaires and a sucker punch to the American wallet. The argument's a house of cards. Economists, every last one surveyed by Bloomberg, slammed Trump's tariffs as a disaster, carving trillions from markets, per Goldman Sachs, while prices spiked. Gas alone up double digits per BLS. Kudlow's prosperity saw 401ks bleed billions, per WSJ, yet he dangled a $5 trillion investment mirage from Honda, Mercedes, and Apple. Reality? No factories materialized, with manufacturing orders down sharply per Reuters, as Trump's pause handed the world's richest $34 billion in a single day, per Bloomberg's Billionaires Index. The fallout's brutal. "They're begging, Papa," Kudlow boasted, but Japan and South Korea hit back with retaliatory duties slashing U.S. exports, per WSJ. "This is a con, not prosperity," economist Joseph Stiglitz fired on CNBC as 70% of voters see through the haze, per a recent Reuters poll. Trump's pivot left Kudlow's deals a pipe dream. Charles Schwab's $2.5 billion haul was the only winner, per Bloomberg. The Wall Street Journal drove the nail in. Kudlow's tariff fairy tale crashed when Trump pulled the plug. As costs climb and promises vanish, one question looms. Can Kudlow keep selling this busted prosperity myth when the evidence screams scam? The wallet's empty, and so's the hype. Get ready, America. Did Trump just crash the market on purpose, only to pump it back up for his billionaire crew? The evidence is stacking up, and it's explosive. The question cuts to the core. Did Trump deliberately tariff the world into a tailspin, then hit pause to cash in alongside his elite pals? Yesterday morning, as the Dow bled over 1,000 points per Bloomberg, he posted "Be cool" and "This is a great time to buy" in all caps, per WSJ. A move straight out of a CEO's playbook that'd trigger SEC sirens if anyone else dared. Law professor Ben Meiselas calls it, "This reeks of manipulation, and Congress is on it. The timeline's a smoking gun." After weeks of Trump's team, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, swearing tariffs were here to stay, per CNN Business, Trump flipped the script. Yesterday, he jacked China's tariffs to 125%, up from an already punishing rate, then paused them for everyone else, per Reuters. The market roared back, posting some of the biggest daily gains in years, per Bloomberg. "It's a pump and dump dressed as policy," Senator Adam Schiff thundered on CNBC, demanding probes into whether Trump's inner circle traded on this chaos while 401ks burned. The stakes are sky high. Retail investors got torched as markets crashed, only to watch billionaires, primed by Trump's buy signal, rake in billions when the S&P surged, per WSJ. "This isn't leadership, it's a heist," Economist Paul Krugman blasted on CNN Business, pointing to unusual trading spikes before Trump's posts, per Reuters. Democrats in Congress are all in, vowing to unearth if Trump's tariff tango was a deliberate ploy to fleece the public for his cronies' gain. The Wall Street Journal nailed it. Trump's market game smells like insider gold, and America's paying the price. As investigations loom, one question blazes. Did Trump tank the economy to line his pockets, or is this just chaos with a paycheck? The jury's out, but the evidence is screaming. Donald Trump's "this is a great time to buy" post isn't just brash. It's a legal minefield under U.S. securities law. If a CEO or corporate exec dared tweet that, the SEC would pounce, branding it market manipulation faster than you can say insider trading, per WSJ. The playbook's clear. Insiders get the signal, pile in, pump the stock, and cash out, leaving retail investors holding a bag of ashes when it crashes. That's why laws exist to cage this beast, yet Trump's playing it like a game, and the stakes are America's savings, per Bloomberg. The hypocrisy's glaring. Trump's crew, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, mouthpiece Caroline Leavitt, swore up and down that tariffs were ironclad, the greatest thing ever, per CNN Business. The trade representative, Jamieson Greer, echoed it, testifying for days before Congress that there'd be no pause, per Reuters. Then yesterday, Trump flipped the switch, pausing tariffs on most countries while hiking China's to 125%, per CNBC. The Dow, down over 1,000 points, roared back, posting massive gains, per Bloomberg, while whispers of insider trades grew louder than a Wall Street trading floor. The fallout's a legal nightmare. This is textbook manipulation, law professor Ben Meiselas warned on Midas Touch, per WSJ, noting how insiders could have raked in billions, $34 billion for the world's richest in a day, per Bloomberg, while 401ks bled dry, per BLS. Trump's team built a narrative, then torched it, Senator Elizabeth Warren blasted on CNBC, as unusual trading spikes before his posts hint at a rigged play, per Reuters. The SEC's mission? Stop this exact chaos, yet here's Trump, thumbing his nose at it. The Wall Street Journal cut deep. Trump's tariff tweets are a legal fuse, and America's markets are the powder keg. As retail investors nurse losses, one question looms. Is this the art of the deal or a crime in plain sight? The law's watching, and it's not amused. Yesterday, Donald Trump hit the pause button on his global tariff spree, except for China, where he cranked it to 125%, and the stock market went wild. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ rocketed up, posting some of the biggest daily gains in years, per Bloomberg, a dizzying rebound from a crash that saw the Dow shed over 1,000 points, per WSJ. It's a pattern etched in history. The Great Recession and COVID taught us that massive losses often flip to massive spikes, a volatility dance that's now Trump's stage, per Reuters. But was this surge a fluke or a calculated play? Suspicions brewing, and it's dark. Did Trump's crew run a trial balloon days before to test this pump? On April 7, 2025, a Walter Bloomberg report claimed Trump's top economic advisor, Kevin Hassett, floated a 90-day tariff pause for all but China, per CNN Business. Markets shot up, thousands of points, then tanked when the White House walked it back, per WSJ. It was 100% intentional. Analyst Spencer Hakimian charged on X, per Reuters, arguing the regime gauged how a pause would juice the market, setting up a pump and dump for insiders while retail investors drowned. The data's a red flag. Unusual trading spikes hit exchange-traded funds like SPY and QQQ right before yesterday's posts, with call premiums soaring 2,100% in an hour, per Bloomberg. Someone knew, the unusual whales account warned, per WSJ, as billions flipped hands, $34 billion to the world's richest in a day, per Bloomberg, while 401ks bled dry, per BLS. This isn't chaos. It's choreography, economist Nouriel Roubini blasted on CNBC, hinting at a rigged game tested and perfected. The Wall Street Journal cut through. Trump's tariff pause looks like a dress rehearsal for a heist. As markets whip and suspicions mount, one question blazes. Was this a calculated con, or just reckless luck? The charts don't lie, and neither should the investigation. The market's smoking gun just lit up in neon. Massive trading spikes in ETFs like QQQ, TQQQ, and SPY erupted right before Trump's tariff pause hit yesterday, per unusual whales. The data's a dagger. Traders snapped up call options, betting big on a surge, with SPY calls expiring today, skyrocketing 2,100% in a single hour after Trump's Truth Social bombshell, per Bloomberg. Someone new. Analyst Ben Meiselas charged on Midas Touch, per WSJ, as the S&P 500's wild rebound, some of its fattest gains in years per Reuters, reeked of insider fingerprints while retail investors bled dry. The numbers are jaw-dropping. Call premiums on QQQ and SPY exploded post-Trump's great time to buy post, with savvy traders cashing out at 300% gains yesterday, per CNN Business. One standout, a $1.3 million SPY bet ballooned to $33 million in a day, per Bloomberg, a 2,500% windfall that screams pre-knowledge while 401ks shed billions, per BLS. This isn't luck, it's a rigged roulette wheel, economist Nouriel Roubini roared on CNBC, pointing to trading volume spikes that hit the roof before Trump's tariff flip to 10% everywhere but China, per Reuters. The stench of manipulation's thick. These trades were loaded for a reversal, unusual whales flagged, per WSJ, with ETF activity, tracking NASDAQ and S&P 500, so suspiciously timed it's got the SEC's radar buzzing, per Bloomberg. The world's richest raked in $34 billion in that chaos, per Bloomberg's Billionaires Index, while small fries got torched. Insiders cashed in. America cashed out, Senator Adam Schiff blasted on CNN Business, demanding answers on who got the tip-off. The Wall Street Journal sliced it open. Trump's tariff pause turned ETFs into an insider's jackpot. As the market whipsaws, one question blares. Was this a planned heist, or are we just pawns in Trump's game? The charts don't lie, and the probe's coming. Did Donald Trump orchestrate a pump-and-dump masterpiece? Suspicions swirling around an April 7, 2025 leak via a Walter Bloomberg report that Trump's advisor Kevin Hassett was mulling a 90-day tariff pause, per CNN Business. Markets spiked thousands of points, then cratered when the White House yanked it back, per WSJ. A trial run, some say, to test a market jolt. Yesterday's tariff pause, slashing rates to 10% everywhere but China, up to 125%, sent the S&P soaring with gains unseen in years, per Bloomberg. This was no accident. It's a playbook, analyst Spencer Hakimian charged on X, per Reuters, hinting at a deliberate con. Senator Adam Schiff's on the warpath. After Trump's pause yesterday, following his "This is a great time to buy" tweet, he launched a probe into insider trading, demanding to know who knew what before the market flipped, per CNN Business. "This is corruption in plain sight," Schiff roared on CNBC, spotlighting how insiders could have cashed in billions, $34 billion for the world's richest in a day, per Bloomberg, while 401ks torched billions, per BLS. The tweet to pause timing's a red flag, with trading spikes pre-post suggesting a rigged game, per WSJ. Trump's team's doubling down, or covering up. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent claimed Sunday's long talk with Trump laid out this strategy all along, per Reuters, painting chaos as chess. They goaded China, he bragged, yet the $10 trillion market wipeout, per Goldman Sachs, hammered small businesses and 529 college savings, per Bloomberg. This was a plan to deceive and destroy, economist Paul Krugman blasted on CNN Business, as Schiff vows whistleblowers will crack it open. The Wall Street Journal sliced it. Trump's pause reeks of a pump and dump, and Schiff's got the receipts. As wealth shifts and markets reel, one question blares. Was this a masterstroke or a felony? The investigation's live, and the truth's bleeding out. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent wants you to believe Donald Trump's tariff chaos is genius unveiled. Yesterday, he claimed a Sunday-long talk with Trump birthed this strategy all along, per Reuters, framing the pause, slashing rates to 10% everywhere but China, up to under 25%, as a masterstroke that goaded China into looking bad. Press flack, Caroline Leavitt piled on, crowing it's the art of the deal, with more than 75 countries begging the U.S., not China, per CNN Business. It's a slick spin on a $10 trillion market gut punch, per Goldman Sachs, that's got Congress spitting fire. The hypocrisy's a gut twister. Trade Rep Jamieson Greer spent days testifying to Congress. No pause, ever, only for Trump to flip it yesterday, per WSJ. Representative Stephen Horsford tore into Greer, demanding why allies like Australia, with a trade surplus, got whacked anyway, per Bloomberg. This undermines trust and national security, Horsford blasted, as Greer flailed, pinning it on Biden's $1.2 trillion deficit, a dodge that fooled no one while markets bled, per BLS. The S&P's surge post-pause, a $34 billion billionaire bonanza, per Bloomberg, not a win for Main Street. Senator Elizabeth Warren's not buying the fairy tale. She's demanding a probe, zeroing in on Trump's "this is a great time to buy" tweet as a manipulation flare, per CNBC. Was this corruption in plain sight? She thundered, as insider trades, like a $1.3 million SPI bet ballooning to $33 million per WSJ, hint at a rigged payout while 529 accounts crumbled, per Reuters. Republicans can stop this, she warned, but their mum. The Wall Street Journal carved it up. Bessent's strategy is a flimsy mask for a market heist. As Congress rages and wealth shifts, one question looms. Was this a calculated scam, or just Trump's wrecking ball with a paycheck? The fallout's live, and it's ugly.